So the other day, I took my daughter to the library, and this was one of the books that she chose. Initially, I thought I didn't look like pay attention to the book. I was ready to go. She said, "Here's the books I want, mommy." We go check them out. As soon as I actually paid attention to the book, I'm like, initially I thought it was pretty. The colors were pretty. I saw a woman on the front in a dress. I didn't pay no attention, but once we went to check it out, I did, and I saw Auntie Uncle Drag Queen Hero. I was disheartened because I'm like, my baby really wanted this book. So once I asked her what was a drag queen, she said a woman. So my daughter thought this book was about a woman, about a queen. That's what she thought. She saw a feminine, figure dressed in female attire. I don't think she's 6. She doesn't understand auntie uncle. She's not going to understand that concept. She doesn't know what a drag queen is. So I was just like taken away by just how much the world is changing and how much they are trying to force certain agendas that at the end of the day goes against the law of nature. They're trying to force ideals to that promotes lifestyles that goes against the laws of nature. I don't discriminate against anyone who decides to live the life that they want to live, but just because I know how it can be so confusing, because my daughter thought that this was a woman, and if she would have read the book and saw there was a man, it just would have introduced to my child things that I'm not ready for her to be introduced to, or things that I'm not taking the initiative to teach her, because she doesn't need to be learning about sexuality right now. She needs to just be learning about what she needs to be learning about. How to be a young lady, guy, the curriculum that she's learning at school, simple stuff like that. How to be a kind person, how to be loving. But this book, when I first opened up the page, there was a man, and he was very sexualized. He was secular. It wasn't innocent. It was like a man in fishnet stockings, and just looked very sexy. And I'm like, how is this appropriate for children? How does this compare to the innocence of a Dr. Seuss book? Come on now. So it's just like, this was in the children's section, and my daughter picked it up. And thank God that whatever aligned for me to notice this in the book, because I think that there has to be some type of warnings or precautions, because this book, like I said, could have introduced her to things that I'm not ready for her to be introduced to. My child would have been literally confused. And, she already knows that women are women and men are men, But, and like I said, I don't discriminate against anyone. It's just this. And I understand that people come from different walks of lives, and people have different stories, and they have different paths, and they identify differently. I'm so understanding of that. But I think that for someone like me, it's just very offensive, and it's scary that this is trying to be pushed as a norm. This is trying to be pushed as a norm. And quite frankly, men being women, men identifying as women and vice versa is not normal. It's just not, and it will not ever be normal. So, if you want to educate children on, the different types of sexual identities, you need to wait until they're in high school. This is not something that you introduce to children in the young age, unless they have these type of unless they have family members who identify as the opposite gender or anything like that. That's the only time that I believe that education is necessary. But as far as implementing these ideas and trying to make it a norm, I think that when it comes to subcultures, I would say subculture, when it comes to certain stuff like this, wait until they're older, until they can process information. Because at this point, this book could be labeled as something that is grooming children. That is taking their innocence away at a young age. Taking their innocence away, taking their choice away. By telling them that's just going to confuse their minds. So this was at a free public library, and I do not go along with the way of the world. I don't, and my daughter will not either. And if she does, she always will have a stand-up, grounded, black mother who will always bring her back to God and always bring her back to righteousness. Because this right here, this book right here, is demonic. No matter how much you want to dress it up, and your logic may, you may have a point with the logic, but either way it goes, that's wrong. To force these things upon children, to force these ideals among children, it's wrong.